Imagine a team of misfits who, without classic heroes around, need to save the world in any way they can. Seems unlikely, doesn't it? Or have we seen this somewhere before? Now, hold on. Because the story of Thunderbolts holds one of the surprises that no one expected and will certainly surprise you. And one thing everyone wants to know, is it a disposable movie or is it important? Important for the future of Marvel. Do the post-credits connect with someone important? They're saying it's the most important post-credit scene in Marvel in recent times. We'll find out everything in today's video. Look, I'll be honest, I hate doing this seriously. Asking for likes, subscriptions, comments. It's like those insistent mall vendors who jump in front of you with a free perfume sample. Yeah, but the truth is, if I don't ask, you'll watch, think it's cool, laugh, get informed, and after the analysis, you'll leave just the same. Like a ghost, no spoilers, silent, and leaving no trace. So here it is, I'm asking. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and if you don't do it, I'll put on the Red Guardian suit, invade your house, and give a 40-minute monologue about how he defeated Captain America in 1983. Your sanity will have to deal with. So I'll give you 3 seconds to subscribe and hit the like button. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you very much for your subscription and your like. Let's get to the review. Thunderbolts is practically Marvel's answer to what DC had already done with the Suicide Squad. It might seem like a joke, but it took 2 attempts from DC before the MCU finally decided to test this type of team formation. The result: a team full of anti-heroes trying to save the world in their own way. The premise of Thunderbolts is clear: to gather characters who have somehow failed in the Marvel universe. There are no more Avengers to save the day, and those who are left have to fend for themselves. Seeing these figures trying to work together creates unexpected moments, especially when survival becomes a priority. You'll notice that this forced coexistence changes the course of all of them. Right at the beginning of their journey, their first mission is to seek out a mysterious source of power. And look, it's one of those moments where you swear it went wrong, but out of nowhere, everything falls into place. It was the typical team mismatch that gradually starts to become the embryo of a real partnership. Even in chaos, they find a way to move forward. At the beginning of the movie, it seems like everything is going to fall apart. The group is full of egos, leadership disputes, and personal conflicts. At certain moments, you think they are completely lost. This confusion shows how strong personalities can hinder a team's functioning. This initial chaos ends up being essential for the transformation they will undergo later. Florence Pugh shines as Yelena Belova. She carries the emotional weight of the film, dealing with old traumas while trying to find a new direction. Wyatt Russell as John Walker also draws attention, although in this film he seems more irritating than in the series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Comment below if you've watched this series, a good Disney Plus series. David Harbour is the one who steals the scene as Red Guardian. It's not about telling jokes, it's the way he speaks. When he appears alongside Bucky, played by Sebastian Stan, the film completely changes its pace. The dynamic between humor and leadership brings the balance that the story was needing. As much as the film has its brilliant moments, it's impossible to ignore that out-of-place humor that Marvel loves to include. In Thunderbolts, this stands out even more because the dark, more serious tone was working. It had the feel of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but suddenly changed tone, almost turning into a comedy special. When Val appears, the first impression is strange. It seems like she parachuted into the story. Her lines are very reminiscent of Jeff Goldblum's style in Thor, Ragnarok, which works well there. Here, it completely breaks the mood and gives a clear sense that the film doesn't exactly know what kind of narrative it wants to follow. It's frustrating to see how the Ghost was sidelined. She has one of the coolest powers in the group but ends up forgotten. She just becomes the woman who walks through walls when much more depth could be delivered. Taskmaster is another one who deserved more prominence. She was a great promise in other movies, but here her presence barely draws attention. This reinforces a general feeling of wasted potential characters. Bob is a separate case. His story is strong, with a lot of dramatic potential, but the film rushes through it all. His development deserved more screen time. As it stands, it seems like the most important part of his journey was cut. Was it cut after filming? I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. For those who follow the comics, an interesting detail caught attention. Many people compared Bob's look to Ben Reilly's, who is basically Spider-Man's clone. Remember the Clone Saga? The meme caught on easily. This shows how the visual generated expectations, even without the character being deeply explored in the story. The action scenes have rhythm, they are exciting, but the CGI sometimes draws too much attention. It's that classic moment when you remember you're watching an MCU movie. This doesn't ruin the experience, but it takes away a bit of the immersion. Even with these flaws, the film has an emotional build-up between the characters that works very well. It's the kind of connection that makes you root for them, even knowing they are problematic. Who would have imagined you'd root for such unknown people? And that's rare in the MCU. Thunderbolts is like an experiment that almost went very right. A film with a confused identity, but with moments that shine. One detail that didn't go unnoticed was the rushed feeling of the film. The final scene arrives without much warning, and you only realize the film is over when the credits start to roll. There are people who still leave the cinema as soon as the credits start, and worse, they miss out a lot in this case. In Thunderbolts, the experience doesn't end when the screen goes dark. Staying there for a few more minutes can yield important revelations, hidden jokes, and an unexpected connection to the future of the MCU. From here, I will show you what you find after the main story and why it's worth the wait. The film delivers 3 post-credit scenes. Each one has a different style. The first brings an important change in the group's dynamics. It clearly explains the reason for that asterisk in the name Thunderbolts. Yes, the same one that appeared in the trailers. It's a joke that the entire film sets up slowly and resolves at this moment. The cinema reacted strongly. There was laughter, surprise, and people pointing at the screen. The second post-credit scene is a joke, literally. It revisits the fun moment of the film, makes a joke with the audience who had the patience to wait, but doesn't deliver any new information about the Marvel Universe. Some people love this kind of thing. Others might find it a waste of time. The truth is, it's just a joke, a small gift with a teasing tone. Now, during these credits, 2 details stand out. First, the stunt performers are listed alongside the main cast. This shows how the industry is valuing these professionals. Secondly, the soundtrack deserves attention. It doesn't try to be the protagonist, but it supports the film's atmosphere well. Created by the same artists from Everything Everywhere All at Once, it balances the action moments and the more introspective ones well. The third post-credits scene is where everything takes on a different weight. It shows the team with new outfits, with more identity as a group, and sets the stage for what's to come. This is the scene that connects Thunderbolts with the Fantastic Four. And it's also the scene that excited the audience in the theater the most. Did you expect this? Thunderbolts with the Fantastic Four? I didn't see any leaks about this. Comment below. The feeling is that now the game has truly changed, and that Marvel is finally moving towards the end of this multiverse phase, reaching the incursions. This last scene not only wraps up the movie well, it paves the way directly for the next events in the Marvel Universe. If you stayed until the end, you saw something that will be important in the following movies. It leaves us with that feeling of wanting more, and it reminds us of the old Marvel movies during the Infinity Saga, when each post-credit scene really connected to the next movie. And of course, if you want to know exactly what happens in each of these scenes, I will make a separate video breaking everything down. For now, here's an overview of the... What do you find? If you have the patience to wait until the very last line of the credits rolls up, the hope is that the MCU learns from this movie and carries forward the successes it had. And honestly, I can't wait to see what's coming next. And we already know what's coming next, right? Fantastic Four. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and comment on what you thought. Now, if you watched everything and leave without commenting, without giving a like, and still not subscribing, I'll make you share a room with John Walker on a secret mission. He'll want to show you his medals and say he's better than the original Captain America, right? Anyway, it's easier for you to do all that, okay? That's it. See you in the next video. See you soon.